Hi and welcome to this week's Friday's live trading. It's Charlie for a change. So I'm going to be doing them every other week now. We've changed our room structure around. So when if I'm in on a Friday in our trading room, then I'll do the live trading video. So and as I'm in today for bring up, look, you can see everyone there. So oops, it's all gone scattered out. Let me just drag that across. I've got a load of people in here today, and that's the software that you can just about see that I'm using. So they're all sat there. We've been here for this morning. We were in, and now we're just coming in. So we got into the news. It's non-farm payroll day, so we've got I've got 2 minutes to go. So I'm just quickly going to tell you a little bit about what my plan is. So my plan is either I'm going to be trading the S&P. If the S&P breaks down, if the S&P weakens, then I will be looking to trade that on the short side. We've got some negative momentum coming in. The trend on the hourly chart has been to the upside over the last few days, but I'm still a little bit wary when I come out to the daily chart that since making this peak up here, we came down. We're having a bit of a break up. The momentum on the daily chart is, it's just been waning. So I'm sort of leaning towards, if it comes down, I'll happily hop on board. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be looking for on the S&P. And the other chart that I'm looking at is the euro dollar. Now the euro dollar, I'm happy to trade either way. There's a slight upside bias as it currently stands, but if we go to its daily chart, then one, it's quite, it's range bound overall, but again, it's got waning momentum. So if it starts pushing to the downside, I'll short that as well. But I'll happily go on the long side. So, but I can't trade them both at the same time. So I will be having to make a decision there. It's 129, so I better take these charts down because I need to see these off screen. So you can see my substitute chart while I've got these off screen. I'm not going to be going in straight away. We're going to let the news announcement come out. We've got about 10 seconds or so to go. So I'll let the news come out, and then so I don't need to necessarily do anything straight away, but at the same time, for the guys in the trading room, deal tickets are ready. The difficulty, now my e-signal's still loading, right, okay. So the news is out. I don't really care what the news is. It's more about, okay, how do the markets move on this? So are we going to get some movement? So at the moment, nothing too much out. Just markets having to think about it. Euro's having to think about it. So, but if the euro does want to come down, then all I've got to do is wait 5 minutes or so and see if it locks in on the downside, and then I'll short it. But it'll be a shame if after waiting all day to see if we're going to trade the get a trade off of this, then and I don't. But the S&P at the moment is firing up. So that's just having a little fire up here, probably because the news is probably bad, and so therefore the stock markets will go up because they like bad news at the moment, because it means that the Fed supports them a bit more. So that's probably what's going on. So I'm not showing you the S&P at the moment just because I've got those charts are off screen. So and I'll bring them back up once things calm down, once I know what I want to trade. So in fact, because the volatility's not been too dramatic, I'm going to be able to bring them down quite quickly if I look at things. The euro dollar, I'm just one last look at these charts before I bring them back down. The euro dollar needs to do a little bit more than it's currently doing, but again, if it starts to roll, then should be able to get on the short side. So let's just press pause on this recording for a second, just whilst we're waiting for a little bit more price action, and then we'll come back to it. Goodness, can follow through. Okay, right. I've just been talking to the guys. Just going to short the euro. Okay, let's start getting some units in. So that's the first unit. Let's get a second one in. The stop's going to be up at 50 odd. I was just saying to the guys. So I'm being aggressive here today. I haven't got time for messing around. The sun's out, and I want to get in the garden this afternoon. So let's see if this euro dollar can follow through. So I needed to get 2 units in. What I'm basically doing is risking around about 200 odd pounds on these trades. That's what I'm doing with the traders in the room. So I'm risking about 200 pounds on average. So I'm just going to quickly get my stops sorted out. So let's just get those done. stop, and it's at 108.52 or 53 for the guys in the room. 1.08 52 on Saxo Bank because they price their stops differently. So 108.52, 1.08.52. Right, okay. So I've just placed those. I'll just take a quick screen grab of the position here so you can see it as it is. Okay, so here's the two entries I've just got in. 29 and 28, basically. There's the two entries there. Half lot, two half lots. I'm estimating it's risking about £200 on this trade. And with... I haven't put a target in, but there's the stop loss there. It's not moving at the moment. I've just taken this screenshot just a minute ago. So let's... so what have I got in at 30? The stop's about 20 odd pips. Actually, let me just just calculate this. 20, it's about 22 pips in it. 22 pips, just make sure. That's about right. That's about right, yeah. I'll risk about £200. That's about right. So I've been aggressive. We've started coming down. It's possible that, of course, the euro just decides to go and do a complete reversal, which is fine as well. And so it's now just a case of seeing can it follow through to the downside. As I've talked about, I was happy to trade it either way. There's not been a lot going on, as you can see, looking at the hourly chart here. But let's just see if it can follow through. And so the potential is there. But the potential was there for it to go up as well. And if it wanted to go up, the potential is up in the 108.70s. I've got some moving averages up here in the 108.70s to 80 area. So if it does decide to turn around, then fine. Then that's possibly where it's going to be going to go. So I've got the position in. I haven't waited today because I wanted to just get this in. Because either way, it was looking decent for a move in either direction. So today. So that's the euro. Very quickly, I don't think there's going to be anything there on the S&P because the S&P's sitting up there at the moment. So there's not really anything going on that for me. I wanted to short the S&P. Now, what if the S&P does start to come down? If the S&P does start to come back down into this sort of zone, then I'll consider that. But at the moment, it's looking doesn't look that way. It looks like that's possibly going to go up. So back to the euro. Sorry, let's take this back this way. And then I'll press pause again whilst we're waiting to see what's going to happen here. So looks like I'm going to have to press pause. We're waiting. So I don't want to make this video too long. So rather than me just giving all the commentary and you having to sit through all of it, I press pause, wait for a few minutes, then come back. But there's no other entries I need to put in. But what about targets? Actually, before I press pause. What about targets? Well, certainly we've got the hourly 50 down here, which would be a nice enough target. That's about actually no, it won't be. No, it's not. And the reason it's not is because of risk reward. So I was going to say, we could use this. But overall, if the euro starts coming down, I see the potential for it to come down to these and retest these lows anyway. So I'm not too fussed about
incoming mail.
I'm not too fussed about that. So target-wise, the risk reward would be good if it can start having a run. Now, if it does start having a run, that's going to take a while, which means I will be having to pause the video and do all that sort of stuff. So anyway, at the moment, it's having this bounce. Let's just see how this gets on. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and I've been shooting the breeze here with the guys in the trading room. And I've got another guy on the mic with me. Beamer, by all means, talk, but I don't know whether it will come through on the recording. Say hello.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Don't know whether that will actually record your voice or not. I'm not sure if it's only taking it off of my mic. But so I have got one of our old members on the mic with me this afternoon. He's come in as a bank holiday. So where are we at? So we've got some downside momentum across these time frames. This is the 5-minute charts, the 15, and this is the 30, and this is the hourly. So we've got a little bit of what I call momentum, just a MACD is momentum is has switched to the downside, but it's very slow price action. Considering I don't know how long ago it was I pressed pause on the mic, sorry, pause on the recording here for you guys watching this recorded. But Beamer and I have just been chatting with the guys in the trading room, and as you can see, it's just sort of taking a long time. So it's slow today. As far as targets are concerned for this, um, I'm gonna be targeting down here at 107.80 anyway. It's not going to get down there today, so I'm quite happy to hold it into next week, um, and we'll see. I'm either going to get stopped out or it'll start working its way down towards that, and that'll be the first target. And then I'll see if we can get a break for the second run. So it's just not going to have enough. I thought when I looked at the daily chart today, the daily, if you look at the daily candle here, the daily bar, very small range day. I appreciate it is a bank holiday here in the UK, but it's not in the US and elsewhere. So I thought we might have still had a larger range than that, and with non-farm payrolls, I thought that might give it the oomph to be able to do that. Now it might still do it yet. It's only 25 past 2 in the afternoon. Still got plenty of time ahead of us for the day, but as you can see, the price action feels very, very sluggish. So we'll just have to see. But I'll press pause for now. I'm not going to stop the recording just yet because it is only 25 past 2, and I'll have to just keep coming back to this, and we'll just see what happens. But we've got stuck here today, basically, I think. Okay, just back. It's now just after 3:08 in the afternoon. So the euro, it consolidated a bit on the 5-minute chart there. Let's have a look at the 5-minute. You can see that it's just chopped around after the initial breakdown. And I got in around here, didn't I? Chopped around for what's that? Best part of an hour, and it's just had a break whilst I've sort of come off the mic with the guys generally in the trading room now. We've sort of finished, although obviously I'm still logging in. They can hear me now, but we've sort of finished our session. We know where the levels are and stuff. So the reality is, oops, what's that? Oh, okay, let's turn that back. That's a 5-minute chart. So the reality is, okay, so the euro dollar has crept its way down. It's got down to the almost down to the hourly 50, but that's not what I'm looking for anyway. But is there anything now, once people always start to say, well, when do you start moving your stop? And this is that age-old debate of, do you trail your stop down once you start getting into a bit of profit? But then if you move your stop down too aggressively, then you end up just getting stopped out anyway. So I'm in favour of not moving my stop too aggressively. Some trades I will do. If it's a pure outright momentum trade, then I will do. But and it's breaking out, and if it's a breakout type trade, then it's got to go, sort of thing. But this isn't like that. So I don't think there's anything at the moment that I can do with regards to stop losses. So yes, the euro's come down a little bit here, just while I've been sitting out in the garden. I was just starting to read a book actually, and I thought I better check the prices, and then see that the euro's come down a little bit. So it's just a case of seeing whether the euro can hold on to this. If we come out to the 4-hour chart, and then I'll go to the daily chart. That's the 4-hour chart. 4-hour candle starting to look a little bit negative. We'll see. We've got about 50 minutes to go until that closes, and then the daily chart really isn't saying much, though. It's a very low range day today, so it's more just a case of, can this work its way down maybe into next week, if that is going to happen. So there's nothing I can do as far with regards to moving my stop. It would be too aggressive. I don't mind. I always find that people are, they're happy to have a stop loss in place at the beginning of a trade, and then as the trade runs, then they're not happy with that stop anymore, and they'll be like, oh, I could have moved my stop. Well, no, you were happy to accept the risk at the beginning of the trade. Carry on with that. So it would be too aggressive to move the stop. If I was trying to outright day trade and coming out at the 50, that would be different. You'd be locking it in and managing it. If I go back to a 5-minute chart, you'd be a lot more aggressive in the trade management, of course. But if you're trying to run a trade, which is what I'm trying to do, I have to allow a market that room to breathe, the room to bounce as well. So anyway, I can't. As nice as it'd be to move the stop down a little bit, I can't do it. So anyway, so that's that. Let's have another look at the S&P, because that was the other market that I was interested in trading here this afternoon. It's not up to much. So looking at it, no. So the S&P is not doing too much here. So I'll keep my eye on it. You never know. But I think essentially we've got a relatively low volatility, low volume sort of day here today. So there's me trying to trade on a bank holiday. But you never know. If we started to get a break, it looked like we were getting a bit of a break earlier, but we didn't get the strong close down here, which is what I would have wanted to have seen. So there's nothing to say there about the S&P. So as far as the euro is concerned, I will keep the chart like that and just keep monitoring it. Not expecting it to get down to the target today. That would be asking a lot on a low volume day like today. So I'm not expecting that. But if it can generally hold down as we go into tonight, then we'll see if it can then pop down there going into Monday. So, but anyway, we'll keep on coming back to this and seeing how it gets on. Okay, right, just back, and the euro has reversed after having come down here to the hourly 50. It has reversed whilst I've been out in the garden having a read, and if we take it to the smaller time frames, done a complete reversal. So, and it's just stopped me out. So let me take a screenshot. This is, I mean, it's always I try and get the position sizing or the trades around about £200 as a loss, and I've just looked at it, and it is bang on £200 as I've on my wrist there. So let's bring it up. Hopefully you can see it. Saxo's very dark. Anyway, so there's the two positions, the in at 29.7 and 29 whatever. I've just been stopped out there at 108.53.7, which means that I lost $248 or £200, bang on across the two units. 103 on that and 97 on that, giving me a £200 loss there. So I was just looking at the charts to see if it was worthwhile taking any other trades here this afternoon. Of course, when you get a reversal type bar like this, there is the scope to for the euro to maybe follow through. But I was just looking at, from a risk reward perspective, I would be looking for this area up here about 70 odd from a risk reward perspective. And when I come to the daily chart, put it into perspective, it's not much of a day today. It's a small range day there. So I just don't think it's a fight I can be bothered to be in at 3:45 in the afternoon. It's just not worth me. If the euro carries on going higher, fine, but I'm not bothered about trying to get in. From a risk reward perspective, it'd be a tougher to find an appropriate stop loss level, considering the target would only be up here about 20 something points ahead of where we currently are. So anyway, the original idea was fine. It did come down, but anyway, it hasn't worked out. Let's go back and have a look at that S&P, because that was the other market that I was interested in trading. In fact, I'll show you cable, because I've seen cables had a big old run, but that's gone slamming into some resistance. I don't know if it's going to continue through. Again, because of the time of the day, do I want to take the risk at this sort of time in the currency market? Don't mind the S&P so much, but in the currency market, do I want to get involved sort of 3:45 in the afternoon? So let's go back and have a look at the S&P. I don't know if there's enough going on. There's not at the moment, but it could wake up and then get a bit of a leg going. So I'll keep an eye on it and see. If the S&P has a bit of a breakdown and a close down here below my 20 MA here, my blue moving average. If we can get a close below that and we start getting a bit of movement going, then there might still be a bit of a trade on there. As I went through earlier on. So I'll press pause for now and we'll come back. Okay, here. So I've come back. What time is it now? 5:15. There isn't going to be any more trading being done now. So the euro had this big run up. This was the potential earlier. If it had gone up initially, then I'd have been looking to have bought it because I've said it could have gone either way today. It's come up to that resistance that I talked about, and then it's just backed off. So it's back into range. So it's expanded its overall daily range, but a little bit, but not much of a day there today. But anyway, at the end of the day, it did come down a little bit, but couldn't follow through. Did a big reversal. Now it's come off again. So just that one trade there after non-farm payrolls. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. I think it's 2 weeks' time. So for the next one, Kim will be back next week. Take care for now.